I feel good now.
Is that okay?
Yep, that's good. Everybody's in the shot, and all your microphones are working.
They're all good. Good. Okay.
So much nicer.
You guys
than
ready?
Last time I was here.
Yeah.
Should I back up maybe?
No, you should be as close to the table as you can. Otherwise,
the camera.
Everyone else will look 6'4". And
okay.
you'll look
Yeah, I
5'3".
noticed that happened last week a little when I was doing that. Okay, cool. All right. All set?
Yep. In 3, 2.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Chelsea Skidmore Show. I'm here today with 3 guests. We'll go down the line. We got all comedians tonight. Tonight. Off to a great start.
This evening.
Dana Moon.
Hello. Welcome.
Brittany Schmitt.
Hello.
And Stasia Patwell.
Hi.
Stasia Patwell sounds like a fake name.
Let's not get into let's not get into the fact that I almost changed it to Portia Patwell because of that girl in the AA meeting.
Portia Patwell sounds like a character from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Portia Patwell from the Fresh Prince.
Portia Patwell. I have Stasia saved in my phone as Stasia Portia Patwell.
But I really like it. I think I would get famous faster if I just changed it to Portia because everyone can pronounce that.
I love Portia. I had a babysitter named Stasia growing up.
You did? You never told me that. Did you hate her?
Well, haven't you noticed I've always been able to pronounce your name?
Yeah, I have. Thank you. I've really appreciated that. Why don't you just call me Portia for the rest of today?
That feels weird.
Let's just try it out and see.
Portia's a little porny.
I'm going to need a rosewater spritz.
Yeah.
It goes with your ass.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stasia has a Portia ass.
It goes with my houndstooth leggings.
How do we get an ass?
Let's everyone take a little spritz of rose water because Dana and I both brought ours.
I know.
It's a full moon. I've already cried today. Who else has cried already?
What does the full moon entail?
No, the full moon was on Friday.
Whatever. It's still.
It was a new moon.
It's foolish.
Well, there's a moon out.
It's big.
Super moon.
When is the time to do a spell?
Always.
The night.
Because isn't it about the moons?
I think right when you get your period and then you just smear your blood all over the wall.
Yeah. All right, you're out of the podcast. Just kidding. Wait, Mike, is my mic okay? Because I feel like far away, but maybe not.
No, it's good.
Okay.
I would say to do a spell as a new moon because you bring in newness.
So tonight?
And full moon is you release. So there's a new moon 2 times a month, I think. And right now it was the first new super moon of the decade. So it was the most powerful. And we're in Leo, which is like psychotic energy. So I feel like I'm psychotic. I feel like everyone's psychotic.
I
actually had a really great day.
But all of
I had
this
a great
could
day
be
yesterday. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or we could all be making it up.
Well, I know, but
and be like, this is an excuse because there's a moon in the sky. It's like, it's not the moon, it's the earth.
It's
Earth
living
is
in
fucked
LA.
up. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
No one in New York, where I'm from,
talks about it.
knows
No.
about a moon schedule.
because they're just angry
but I'm
all the
into
time.
it.
Okay,
When you
Chelsea,
live here for a while, you
You
start
have
to
to
get
look
into
over
it.
here too. I feel really left
I'm
out
so
already,
sorry.
and I'm getting triggered.
No, wait, hold on. So is tonight the night? Is today the day?
No, Friday.
What about this
Valentine's
Friday?
Day?
I mean, it already
It
happened.
already happened. It was
So
Friday.
is there any remaining moon power?
Yeah.
Brittany's
Can I do
just
a spell
spiraling.
today when I get home?
You can do a spell.
I've been getting into spells.
I love spells.
So you brought your tarot cards.
I just haven't.
Now
had
that
them in
we're
my
on here,
purse.
we'll get into sobriety.
What is your
eventually.
show about?
I don't.
Is it
I'm
about-
just interviewing people. I was gonna. I had you all
Schizophrenia.
on because we're all sober. We're all comedians. That was gonna be the focus, but I'm following the flow of the spirituality conversation. The tarot cards are out. Let's find out where we're at.
Let's
I
find
love
out.
it. So every episode is just a different subject, kind of.
Interview.
No, it's just an interview
Okay.
style
Yeah, it's
podcast.
great.
Thank
They're
you,
great. You
Brittany.
should listen.
It's just I normally do one-on-one. This is the second episode I've had multiple guests.
Yeah.
and
Are you
we're-
regretting it?
No, I like it. I'm
Okay.
enjoying myself. It's nice to switch it up.
Yeah.
Chelsea likes a bukkake session. That's what this
Yeah, I
is.
went to one.
Oh. Okay.
So
you're
Stasia is
spiraling.
spiraling and shuffling.
Shuffling.
I couldn't think of the word. She's shuffling her deck of Argyle trendy tarot
These
cards.
are the Rider-Waite tarot cards. These are the OG ones.
What's your experience with what makes someone be able to read a tarot card?
Everyone can read it.
But like, what gives some? Is it a power?
You just
like,
put your energy. You just hold the deck. You put your energy into it. You ask a question like.
So the cards will be crying soon.
So I'm gonna have to ask a question.
Well, yeah. Like you asked me a question, like am I gonna go to another bukkake
No.
session? Okay.
Can't think of a question.
Am I gonna
Do
be
you guys have a
famous?
question?
Yeah, like you asked, like, am I gonna be rich and famous in the next 6 months?
6 months. That's a
I
tight
don't know.
I
timeline.
know. Fuck. I gotta
But
leave
yes.
right now. This is a waste of time. Do you guys have a question ready?
Not really.
I kind of got one.
Okay.
I got one.
Okay. What?
It doesn't have to be really specific.
No. You can
Am I
also just
going
do, like, a
to
general-
sell
Yes.
one of 3 shows
Okay.
this year?
Okay. Cool. So
Damn.
is Chelsea
Yes.
gonna sell one of her 3 shows this year?
And that's just a little flex.
Doesn't Chelsea have to put her hands in it?
Am I going to sell one show
Because
this year?
this is what I learned this week from like a real witch is that no one should touch your deck except for you. So someone asks you a question, but then you're putting your energy and no one else touches your deck. I don't know if I believe that, but we're going to go with it.
Really put
I feel
the
like I
energy
keep
in there.
saying
Okay,
seeing the same cards when you shuffle, so I don't think you're actually shuffling.
Okay. I mean, I didn't say
We
this
get
is
a
not how I
fancy
make my
shuffle?
money. You know what I mean? I'm not a professional.
You don't
Can we
have
get a
store-
blackjack
You don't
shuffle?
have a storefront? Yeah. That's a
Okay.
lazy shuffle.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
let's
it's not
keep
a
some
deck
good
of
energy.
cards. Yeah. Okay.
It is a deck.
No,
of
but I
cards.
mean, it's not
It's a
like
deck of tarot cards.
Okay. Well, all
That's
right.
exactly what that
Wait,
is.
so
Do you guys
want
to play Crazy Eights with it?
Should we just
The
play
improv
Should we play
goldfish?
war?
Should I just shuffle them like this then?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how people shuffle.
Yeah.
Those are big though.
I don't even think they'll.
No, you
I
don't
feel-
shuffle tarot like that.
Why
Oh, that was
not?
good.
Well,
Okay.
that's what she asked for. You know what I mean? Got to give the woman what she
Okay.
wants.
Okay, there's a lot of opinions here. I feel like we should just pull a card.
Yeah, I'm ready.
yeah, I'm ready.
I'm on the fucking edge
Okay,
right
let's
now.
do this one. The world.
Okay,
I gotta
what-
look up and see what it means.
Bitch!
I thought she knew.
Well,
You
I
don't
No,
know?
it's in a
No, I
book.
gotta look it up.
You
I'm
don't
not-
know?
No,
Okay,
I-
the world. So what we're seeing is, can I touch it?
Yeah. I mean, you just did. So.
So what we're seeing is a goddess-like naked figure with perfect
Yeah.
breasts,
I-
similar to mine.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
except for
holding-
they're a little wide.
Mine are very close. And thank you
Yeah.
for knowing.
your
Yeah.
tits are so unreal. It's unbelievable.
You've got nice abs. You've got an ass.
You
We've
know,
all got
whatever.
a different body part.
That's true. Thank you for reminding
Okay,
me.
I see a lion, like
okay.
a person.
Well, I'm
Is
not really
she
getting.
the
wrapped
world.
in an eel. Oh
I'm-
no.
I'm
What
not
is that?
getting
Just a-
service here, so we might just have to.
Oh.
do
Talk
we-
about sobriety.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Should
then
you
once
tell
I
me
get
after?
sober-
You
I'll
wanna
tell
tell
you
me after?
I know it's a good thing. Whatever it is, it probably means the
good?
world is coming to you. Yes, you're
Okay.
gonna sell. Oh wait, here we go. Here we go.
Dana's
Uh,
texting.
No, I was gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Do you have better start?
Yeah.
Can I say?
What do I look up?
The world. The world card. This is quite a boring podcast. Mike has it.
Yeah, I know the answer.
What you do? What is it?
Was it upside down or right
No,
side
it was
up?
right side
I
up.
have it right
yeah,
now.
so you're going to get what you want. It's
Yes.
achievement.
Yeah,
It's achievement?
That's right.
Yeah.
Did you know this automatically, or you
Yeah.
looked it up?
I have the Salvador Dali tarot cards that they
Amazing.
made for the movie Live and Let Die that didn't use.
Dope.
Can I read what I
yeah,
have?
it says there's. Yeah, go ahead.
A
You said
naked
it-
woman hovers or dances above the earth holding a staff in each hand, surrounded by a green wreath. Right? The
Yeah.
meaning, the world
Yeah.
represents an ending to a cycle of life, a pause in life before the
Yeah.
next big cycle, beginning with the Fool. Oh.
Okay,
Listen
so
to this. It says this can often be a card of completion. You've worked hard and you're almost to the finish line in some way, so don't quit now when you're so close. You're almost definitely in need of some well-deserved rest and relaxation. Don't be afraid to take it. You're getting closer to who you really are at your deepest levels. In terms of work, there's a very good chance that you're working far too hard for far too little recognition and money. It's important.
thank you for
If
noticing.
this is a case to blow your own horn a little and make sure that the powers that be don't accidentally overlook your many positive Okay, so yeah, you're
So
going to sell
just
it.
relax. Yay.
Chill.
Yeah.
Does
Means
anyone else
chill.
want to pull a card?
Uh,
You guys are nervous. It's
I
nerve
guess I'll
wracking,
do
right?
one. Yeah,
Isn't it
I'll do
scary?
one. Yeah.
It could be just like
It is. It's terrifying.
It's just a general question.
Thank
It doesn't have
you.
to be super specific.
Thank you, Page Master.
Yeah.
Starring Macaulay Culkin. You guys remember that movie?
No.
Really? You guys don't? I know Mike does. The Page Master? Of course you do.
I've
I
seen
do.
every Macaulay Culkin movie. I loved The Good Son as a
Yeah.
kid. I
That
thought he
one.
was so hot.
Good.
Where he like was a crazy.
You thought he was hot when he was a kid? How old was he?
psychopath.
No, I thought he was hot in this movie when he was like 8 or 9, and he
Yeah.
there's a specific scene where he like takes a dummy and he throws him over
Yeah.
the bridge and he causes over the freeway and causes an accident because it looks like a human. going into
Sounds like
cars.
the bad son.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
the bad
that's-
son.
Yeah.
You just said
No,
it was
it's
the good son.
It is a good son. It's like
It's
it's ironic, I think.
I watched it
You
when I
got
was like
wet.
10, and I was like so horny for
Oh.
Macaulay Culkin.
I'm glad you specified you were 10 because you said he was hot and.
Yeah,
first-
I like 10-year-olds.
Okay.
Still do.
Because you were at that age. Have you guys seen Igby Goes Down
No.
No.
with
No,
Kieran
but look at
Culkin?
this,
I know.
though.
Because I want you
like
to
it.
feel
Is
Oh,
it.
I
Kieran,
like it.
is
I
Kieran
like
the
it.
one from Succession?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, he's
so
great.
He was hot in that movie.
Yeah.
Brittany, what's your
ready for her
question?
card.
Okay, so just and it could just be like general, like
Yeah.
work. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, is this gonna happen?
Brittany has a similar question.
Will I
think.
start making money in this goddamn business?
Ooh, okay.
Well, first of all, I'm just gonna go ahead and say yes. You are, but let me just put my.
Yeah, no, I want. Yeah. Will my pilot get sold?
Yes, another pilot.
Oh
Yeah.
my
We've all-
God!
what?
Oh my God! We got the same card.
She's not
That's
We're on
shuffling.
top
No,
of the
I did
world. We're
shuffle.
on top of the.
You
She
saw
got
me
the world
shuffle.
too.
Did you
that's
really?
Yes,
Okay,
I
great.
shuffled.
So there it is.
Let's
Wow.
stop working now.
Oh
Dina,
my God,
if you
we
and I
need to
don't get the
rest.
Yeah,
world,
let's go to the
We
spa.
We need to rest.
I don't know what question to ask.
Wait for the
Just
call.
Do you have
to
a
come in.
pilot?
No, should I start writing? Should I start writing
Why
pilots?
are you
Yes.
here? Write the pilot.
yeah.
Okay, do I need to be writing more? Or no, I don't want to. No, I don't
Do
want to
you
ask
want
that question.
that? What do you want?
What do I want?
You like characters.
I want to be on SNL. I want to be doing
Yes.
characters.
Mhm.
I want to be
Okay.
acting in TV and film. I'm putting that out there.
Okay.
So what's your question?
Should I be focusing on that more than stand up?
Ooh,
Okay.
I'm gonna
Ooh.
already say yes.
Yeah, I'm saying yes.
I know
too,
where
but-
your heart is.
Damn.
I know where your
Do I
heart
quit?
is.
I can't
No,
quit
you don't
stand
I
up.
understand
don't
that
quit.
feeling. I've been having. I know what you mean. It's like when you get clarity and you're like, what should I really be doing?
Yeah.
Because of sobriety, I have clarity now, and now
What's
that's
it like?
no, it's I'm just getting more
No, I know.
inspiration to be doing characters, and I keep getting more like, oh God, I want to be like on a set, like I want to be like
Yes.
filming
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Like, I want to
Yes.
take these characters I have in me and just like unleash them, and like I don't know how to do that on stage other than by doing my stepdad.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to
Have you-
explore some other characters.
Have you taken acting class?
Not since.
Have you done Groundling?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
you should go back to ground. But your Ann Joyce needs to just come on stage your Ann Joyce is the most genius thing I've ever seen in my life.
You think I just need to go with a wig and just go on stage?
Yeah,
and be
like
her?
sit in
Yes,
the audience
yes.
and then
That's
just
what Becky
come
Robinson does, and she's
Yeah.
brilliant.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sit in the audience, you know what I'm saying, Dana? Like tomorrow night, like I'll introduce you.
Do you want
I'll
me
be
to
like,
go
we
on
have
as
a
Joyce?
special
Oh,
guest,
I've-
and it'll be Ann Joyce.
Okay.
Well,
Yes.
It's so fun too to do that at shows. I've done that when I've had shows
Okay,
up
so
there.
tomorrow I'll do
played
Joyce.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven's life changed when he started doing Martins.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
because he had always just been doing stand up, and then he was like, I really want to do characters. I want to do characters. And he felt that same feeling that you had, and then he started doing it, and like he just like, you know, it
blossomed.
changed everything for him.
I guess I feel like it needs
Performance.
to be one or the other.
No.
Like I'm a
No.
stand-up or
No,
a
you could do
character,
both.
and it's like if you do both, is that hacky? Like
Mine-
which
No.
one?
Why do you
Like,
have to? Go ahead.
Fahim did Lance Can't Stopless. He doesn't do
Yeah.
him anymore, but that was brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's a
Mike?
brilliant
Yeah.
stand-up.
You don't have to
Yeah.
box yourself in.
No.
You know, you can do everything.
Robin Williams did characters.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
This is
why
my
bu-
alcoholic
It's
brain.
also it's
Yeah.
also
Hey, King of
it's also
Pentacles.
growth.
This is a hugely good card. Pentacles
my
is all about
God.
money. King of Pentacles.
Oh my God, King
Yeah.
of Pentacles.
So
Hell yeah! What does it mean?
What is
okay,
that?
hold on. It's very good. I know
Does Mike know?
this would be a lot
Mike,
better.
do you know
yeah.
what King of Pentacles is?
Not offhand.
Mm.
I'll look it up.
Maybe your Wi-Fi is
I
better.
can't believe
though.
we got the same one.
I know.
If
That's
these would be
what
way
the
better
Wi-Fi
if I
is
had
based
these
Will
all
you draw
memorized.
one if I shuffle
King
them?
of Pentacles.
I'll draw my own.
Okay.
Or I mean, I don't know. It's like when
King
you
of
drink
Pentacles.
sake. No
I'll
one else
read
can
it.
pour
I have it right
let's
here.
Read it. Let's read it.
Ooh, mature, grounded male, successful, wealthy businessman.
Yeah.
Bettering yourself, not a risk taker.
Go to psychicrevelation.com. That's the best one because it breaks it down per section of your life. Like it breaks it down to work, love, all that shit.
Do you guys care about this?
I mean, we
We all got a card.
Yeah.
Now it's
Okay.
your turn to get a card. I'm angry.
what am I gonna? Okay.
Oh, the
You'll
King
get
of
one.
Pentacles speaks of
Yeah.
authority, tradition, success, and money matters. When he appears in a reading, it's a sign that now is not a time to be a maverick. Now is a time to follow the established way of doing things.
Which is characters.
Ooh, in general refers to a masculine fellow with hair.
Hold on, I'm gonna go to psychic.
Maybe it's a male character.
I am on
you
Psychic
are?
Revelation. Love, Finances, health. Wait, I want to go to work. I don't care about anything else. Work. An older established man plays a major role in your working environment. The man is a wise, fair, and somewhat quick to pass judgment.
Maybe a new manager or agent or something.
Oh my God, please. Anyone at UTA listening, hello, hit me up.
A maverick of
It
sorts.
says success and money. That's all that matters. So that's a yes.
But the question was,
Well,
Do I do character?
I think what
Maybe
we're
that's-
hearing is that success and money will follow.
out of the
Let's
frame
get
for
into
sure.
the fucking frame.
you know what? I just realized something. Money will come from, I think, me taking the.
I just said that.
Oh.
But yeah, sorry. It could be your revelation. Sorry, am I being a bitch?
No. Wait.
Yes.
Money and success will come from
Yes.
doing
Dana,
characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Stasia, do you want to get your card?
Okay, so I want to open for Bill Burr.
Okay.
I want to be a series regular on a dark comedy, and I want to have a very successful podcast.
I see that all for you.
Oh, thank you.
Which are you going to do all of the questions?
No, it's just like,
That's what you want.
is shit correct?
Yeah.
Is it correct? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Okay, I'm not.
Don't peek.
I didn't mean to.
You're peeking.
I didn't.
Come on, let's get the energy into the card. Oh, what do we got here?
3 of Cups reversed.
Oh.
Let's see what this is.
Dun, dun.
Uh-oh.
Three.
Cups are good. Cups are good.
Okay, let's see reverse though.
Okay, all right. Everyone calm down. I know.
Let's
Reverse
see
doesn't
reverse.
mean bad necessarily.
Can we get 3 of Cups reversed?
3 of Cups reversed.
No.
Oh.
I was listening to Abraham Hicks on the way here.
Oh, good.
Oh,
we
you like
we should all
Abraham?
be doing that right now.
Love. 3.
Wouldn't it be funny if I was cut out of this frame the whole time?
Hilarious.
Okay. 3 of Cups reversed.
If this is bad, I swear to God, I'm gonna be so
Reversed. Independence, alone time, hardcore partying, 3's a crowd.
Hardcore partying.
I don't know why it
Stasia's
says
relapsing.
that. Yeah. Okay, let's see.
pissed. Maybe it means my life is.
When the upright reversed. When the upright 3 of Cups is a card of friendship and social events, the reversal of this card suggests that you would prefer to go it alone right now. You may have recently spent a lot of time with others and now just need some alone time. Or perhaps you are no longer clicking with some of your friends or a social group you are ready to move on. Awkward.
Okay, let's.
Or sometimes you might find yourself on the outer, excluded from other people's
Oh, like right
circles
now because I'm
and
out of
feeling
frame.
isolated and alone. Honor your desire to step out of the social scene for a while and enjoy this time by yourself so you can get clear on who you most want to connect with in the future. If you're involved in a creative project, now may be the time to work independently rather than in a group.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave right now. Okay.
Oh, wow. You may be part of a tight-knit club that does things a certain way and is not open to innovation or alternative approaches.
Okay, I like my website better.
Okay,
It
what
says
is
the
it?
reverse 3 of Cups is an upbeat card, which often refers to building and enhancing one's sense of community. When this card appears, this is not a time to go it alone. The reverse 3 is the opposite of what you
That's
said.
fucking wild.
The reverse 3 is still a very positive card. You can look forward to at least one pleasant reunion with someone or something that you've been apart from for some time. This is a sense of feeling supported by friends and family. Make a point to stay in touch with people right now.
That's like directly opposite
Yeah.
of
What
what
you
that's
read.
crazy.
The mood in general in your working world should be relatively pleasant. If you're looking for work, you should be quite successful, perhaps surprisingly so, at how well things work out for you. So don't give up.
Well, there it is.
Hell
That's all we
yeah.
needed to hear.
We just
Good.
needed to
And
find the
with
website
that-
that had the thing that,
That
I like.
was-
Are any of these negative?
Yes.
Yes. Right
Cards?
Yeah.
before I broke up with whoever, my friend Allie pulled a card for me, and it was like the falling tower of death. And I was like, that's so weird. I wonder what that is. I'm going to ignore it. And the next day we broke up. So I'm just like,
Oh.
I need a spritz. I'm
You
heating up.
are just, we are just clarifying.
Yeah.
Not clarifying. We are refreshing. So, guys, we are here to talk about sobriety. Why don't we just kind of go down the line and maybe just give a little history on what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. How would that work?
Yeah.
So we could do maybe 5 minutes a person, just
Yeah.
I'm not gonna time it, but should I have a
That's
timer?
cool.
There's
Like
a
a
clock.
meeting?
Can you have a really annoying timer that
Should
has
I
animal
don't know.
noises?
Oh my God.
I'll set a
She did
timer.
change
I'll
it
set a
today,
timer.
though.
Yeah, I'm sure she
But
does.
Yeah, and it
so
wasn't as
annoying.
good. So we'll set a timer for 5 minutes each, and we can just kind of talk about our history with alcoholism. Who would like to begin?
I'll go.
Okay, Brittany and
Ty.
Type that.
So I grew up in Wisconsin, and it's really like a cultural epidemic there to drink. I didn't even realize that like drinking in the way that they drink there wasn't normal until I moved here. I moved to LA like 8.5 years ago. I grew up in a really strict household. My parents were getting divorced from the time I was 5 until like 15. So it was a really, really long, tumultuous divorce. And then also on top of that, my mom had undiagnosed borderline personality disorder, which is super hard. She was really strict. She like didn't let me out of the house to go to like dances or like do anything. So I always felt that like apart from, like I always just felt like I wasn't included in stuff. The kids at school were really mean to me. And I rationalized it thinking like, well, if I was able to hang out with them, they would like think I was cool and this, that, and the third. And then I started like lying about what I would do on the weekends because I couldn't do anything. I would like sit home and read Harry Potter books. And then I would like lie and be like, oh, I went to like this concert this weekend. And like, they were like, no, you didn't. Like I just like got caught in all these lies. And then there was like this shame and embarrassment and apart from, and then like, the older I got, like my mom didn't get less strict, but my dad was a little less strict. And like, I like when I got my license, I think that's like really when I started to drink. There was a period when I was like 15 that like the girls a grade more senior than I, so I was like a sophomore and they were juniors, would like pick me up and take me to parties, and like I started drinking with them, and I like thought I was so cool, and I was like, oh, this is like the answer. Like you can get drunk and like not feel those shitty feelings, and like guys are into you and they want to hook up with you, and the girls thought I was cool for like a minute until they also decided they hated me. Like I just like had a really interesting relationship with it, and then like I just realized like the kids at my school were never gonna like me, so I kind of started like branching out. I was like, listen, I don't actually need friends, I need drinking buddies right now. I just want like people to party with. So I started drinking really heavily, found friends at different schools, and then like those friends at different schools were partying in the city. I lived in like the suburbs, and these kids were like partying in the city. So when I was in high school, I started like partying at like college parties. Like my first shot of alcohol was Everclear, which is like it's like losing your virginity to a traffic cone. Like it's like so fucking hardcore. And so then by the time I got to college, I didn't want to go to college parties. Then I wanted to go to clubs and I wanted to go to bars. So I was always like a little further ahead of it. And it was the thing that made me just like get the fuck it. Just be like, fuck you people. Like if you don't like me, I don't fucking care. I like myself. Like I don't fucking need you guys. And it was like, it was literally the key that like unlocked the handcuffs of like all the pain and like apart from that I felt. And then on top of that, my dad drinks a lot. He's great. He's like a functioning alcoholic. It's never gotten in the way of anything. But my mom, like even before I started drinking, was always like, you're going to be a fucking alcoholic. Like da da da. She just saw like the personality traits in me that were like very similar to my dad. And so my mom and I didn't get along. She was like super fucking verbally abusive and insane. And, as a kid, it's like, what is this? Like, what am I dealing with right now? 'Cause like, when you're a kid and you just have a parent who's fucking crazy, you don't have much to compare them to because you have like one mom. And then I kind of started seeing how my friends' moms were, and I was like, oh, like we're dealing with something a little different here. But she was so fucking mean. And so when I started drinking, because I knew it pissed her off, I like dug my heels into it. I'm like, I'm going to become the best drinker. I'm going to drink all the time. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. So I drank a lot to spite her. And, when I was supposed to go away to college, she ended up stealing my college fund. And so then I had to go to college in Milwaukee, which ended up being like a huge blessing because like I was supposed to go to ASU and that would have been a disaster. I would have been like really tan and had STDs.
You're
like,
still really tan. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I actually have like the wrong color foundation on right now. I have like my summer foundation on and I don't have summer skin. So it's an issue we'll be addressing today. Really complicated relationship with my mom. College was a fucking blast. Like literally the most fun. I had really good friends. We partied really hard. I just had like a ton of fun with it. And then when I graduated from college, literally 2 days later, I drove across the country, moved to LA to start working at this advertising agency. And then for about like a year and a half, no, actually not a year and a half, I started working at the advertising agency in May 2011. And then in December 2011, I got my DUI. Oh my God, is it already 5 minutes?
Here,
Oh my
how
God,
about that's a
scared me.
warning, and then there's 3
Oh, okay,
more.
okay.
'Cause it's not gonna work.
Okay. So I got my DUI, and then I hadn't been talking to my mom. My mom and I like had a little bit of a rocky relationship in college, but kind of talked. And then right before I moved to LA, I just like didn't talk to her anymore. And then I got my DUI, and I ended up getting it in Arizona. And you know, being from Wisconsin, you can literally get like 4 DUIs before they like call your house and they're like, "Hey, stop." But I got it in Arizona, and I had to go to jail for 30 days. And then you would think that would be the time where I would start to like reevaluate my relationship with alcohol, but I didn't. I then like dug my heels in more, and it was like drinking and driving myself to jail, and like
That's gangster.
fucking wild. Like I was doing like my alcohol counseling with like wine in my cup. Like I was just like, I really just was like, I'll show you. Like it was kind of the same mentality as I had with my mom, where like, I'll fucking show you an alcoholic. And then fast forward a couple years, like it never, after that, it was never like out of control, but like I just felt myself like losing myself. Like I was like, it made me fun and sexy and smart and confident and like all these things for a really long time, and then it just stopped. And it didn't stop working. It was just like I just like kind of was like little microaggressions to people when I drank, and it wasn't like I blew shit up, but like I blew a few things up. Like I blew some friendships up, and then I just justified it with like, oh, we've grown apart. Like I don't fuck with you anymore. Rah rah rah. But it was just like enough where I was like, I'm losing myself to this thing. Like I think too, when I moved to LA, like you start doing drugs out here because they're everywhere. And I wish people would tell you like the truth about like drugs, like hard drugs like Coke and Molly. It's like, you can do this and you're going to feel amazing for X amount of time. And then like a piece of you will be gone forever. Like I really just think like it ripped like I never had like the suicidal thoughts or like the I want to die or that like darkness until I started doing those kind of drugs. And then, okay, gotcha. And then before my wedding, 3 days before my wedding, my husband and I and my close family was going to Nicaragua. My mom committed suicide. And that was it. It was like, I got the news, and it was just like a 10-ton truck was lifted off my back. And I was like, this is it. This is my opportunity to give it up and live for me and stop like spiting this person, because she's gone. We hadn't talked in 6 years, and now she's like gone. And that was it. The last time I drank was at her funeral, which was December 11th, 2017. And I smoked pot for 6 months, and then I gave it all up on August 8th, 2018. And now my life is, it's great. It's amazing. My marriage is super healthy. Like I look at my life all the time, and I'm just like, fuck. I'm just so happy to not have those like handcuffs on me anymore. So.
Wow, thank you so much, Brittany.
Yeah, sorry, I blew the top.
No. I think
I ran my light.
We'll do a 5 minute, and then the timer will go off, and then 3 minutes, and I'll give you a 1 to wrap up. Does that work? Because it takes a little longer than I realized. But I think this is really powerful to share, because I think a lot of people, struggle with alcoholism. And I think it really helps. If people have never been to a meeting before, this is sort of the type of share that you might hear while you were there. And I think it's really helpful to provide outside of that space, just to give people a clue into like, what it's like and to not be alone. And if you relate that, you're hearing this in a different way. Yeah. So it's not like a sneaky way to let you know, but it's just a way for us all to express how our lives have changed and gotten that much better.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great, Britt.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I love that.
And we'll get into all of this other stuff after this. But first, let's all kind of qualify.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Want me to share?
Yeah, sure.
Hello, I'm Dana, alcoholic.
Hi, Dana.
Hi, Dana.
Thank you. I guess a similar background to Britt, as in like as a child I always felt very different then. Like I'm like the third born and like total weirdo and like all just very creative, and no one in my family is, and I was always like, doing characters and being silly, and it was like, what is she doing? Something's wrong with her. She's like talking to herself in a mirror. Like, is she schizophrenic?
Yes.
And yeah, actually, yes. But my dad, I grew up, my story is, I really feel like my dad was a very, very bad alcoholic. Like he would buy a bottle of like pop-off vodka on his way home from work and drank the whole bottle. So when he got home, he threw it away. And like that was like every day. That's how much he drank. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm so sensitive to the energy I'm around. I feel like I like absorbed a lot of my dad's alcoholism, and he absorbed his father's. And like, my mom called me an alcoholic since I was like 10. She's like, you're going to be an alcoholic. Anytime I had like a sip of wine, Christmas, it's like, you know, you get a sip of wine as like a teenager, she would just like glare at me and just be like, well, we got to watch out for you. And I was like, no, we don't. No, we don't. But yeah, you know, I just felt really like different and uncomfortable in my body my whole life. And when I drank for the first time when I was 14, I was just like, oh my God, everything just like felt warm. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like comfortable in my body. And like, I feel accepted and like, I'm funny. And like, I know I'm weird, but people are liking it when I'm drunk. And I was able to like really be my true self when I was drunk. And so you would think that like when my dad died, he died in a drunk driving accident, I would like stop drinking. And that's when I started drinking. Like I really started drinking when I was 14. And I have such major control issues, which is a part of my addiction is like my control. So like I didn't really realize I had a problem until I was like 28, 29, because I was able to control the drinking, you know, because your mind is the problem. And like I couldn't go out and like leave my house in like when I went to USC, I moved here for college, and I couldn't like go out without like being drunk. And I didn't think that was a problem. And it's so funny because like I look back and I'm like, how did I not know that I was an addict? Because like I literally like in my brain would think, okay, the highlight is like of my week is Saturday when I'm drinking. And I would wait till Saturday. And like I was like a controlled alcoholic, because I was like, I'm going to go this whole week because I don't have a problem. And I would think about it every day. And then like I would be like, and this is going to be like the best day of like the week because I'm going to be fucked up. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy because like I was drunk at my 29th birthday, and like really drunk. And I like went in the bathroom and cried. And I was like, I have a problem. Like, I can't do this. This is like, you know, like Brittany said, like I felt like I didn't know who I was. I felt like so far away from my goals. I felt so far away from people and relationships. And like, there was just a major disconnect between like me and my truth, and me and other people, and me and like the world. And, yeah, the hardest thing is admitting it. You know, that it took me after that, like a year and a half to like admit. And, my life immediately got better when I stopped drinking, like literally day one. Like it was insane. I didn't really get into the program until like 6 months sober, but I noticed like just everything in my life started aligning when I decided I'm going to stop using to feel better. And so I think that's what like kept me going. And then now just like working, just like I feel like now for the first time in my life, I actually have a connection with people. And life isn't as hard. Like I'm feeling my feelings, and that's like really tough because I went like 30 years of my life not feeling my feelings, and I would just numb it out. And now I'm like having to feel that and like go through it, which is difficult for me because that's new territory. But things that were so challenging to do, like literally going to the post office was the most challenging thing to do when I was drinking. Like I would think about it all day, and I'm like, I literally have to get in my car and drive to the post. Like I like doing such simple things was like so hard. And now it's like, now I can like stack my days up, and I can like actually be of service and show up for people. And I'm just like so excited about, I'm so close with my family in like a healthy way now. And I never had that. And that was taking up a lot of space in my life that I didn't even realize, just having that dysfunctional relationship with them, and just the energy I would spend like talking about it and analyzing it, and then fighting with them, and then talking about it and analyzing it. And it was just like this fucking insane circle. And the shit that people talk about in the program that I judged is legit. Like the steps that I'm actually working, that I'm like taking so long to do, are for real, like opening up new portals and new channels in my life of like clarity and I want to say bliss, but that sounds cheesy as hell. I'm just blissful and great. Can you imagine if I just like started just saying all the program things?
I'm into it.
So, in conclusion, in summary of, I'm going to go have a drink after this. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think being a creative, like, there's like a sober movement happening, I feel. So this is really important that you're talking about this because I think more people need to hear about it and open up about it. Because it's a real thing because our world fucks us up. Like, even if you're not an addict, you know what I mean? Like, this world, like, will fuck you up. Okay. I guess I'm going to give it back to the room. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dana. Stasia.
Hi. I'm an alcoholic for sure. You know, I feel like maybe I should talk more about how I went out and came back because, yeah, I was crazy. Yeah, I was a crazy drinker. Obviously, I grew up in Boston. My dad always said his biggest accomplishment in life was not being an alcoholic. So, thanks, first of all. But like, I'm Irish Italian. I'm from Boston. It's all in my family. Blah blah blah. I had the mania early on. Everyone knew. Drank crazy. Everyone knew, right? I was a party girl. Moved to Venice Beach. Partied everywhere. Lived with a coke dealer. Woke up SWAT teams with guns. Yada yada yada. You know the whole deal. We were fucking messes, right? Messes. I am a little proud that my nickname with the security guards in Venice was NBT. Nothing but trouble. Anyway, so yeah, disaster. And then I got sober and everything cleaned up. And I stayed sober for like 6 years. And then I sort of gradually stopped going to meetings. And when I got sober, yes, my life got better, obviously. How can it not? I was a raging alcoholic. But what became even more clear was I had some serious outside issues that needed attention that I was drinking over. Like, I have had serious depression my whole life. Like, I got it from my dad. And like bad, you know, like they make meds for brains like mine. You know what I mean? And I had been against meds my whole life because I thought it was just like, I was against it. But when I got to a point where it was like, well, if I'm going to stay here on Earth, I'm going to need to function. And if I can't function with nothing, then I have to medicate myself. So I started taking antidepressants. And when I got on antidepressants and I had stopped going to meetings, I started to feel like, well, if like I'm on antidepressants, like really what's the difference between this and smoking weed? And like weed's more natural. It's better. Like I don't even know what I'm taking, you know? I mean, I knew what I was taking, but you don't really fucking know what's in these. I mean, it could be fucking anything, you know? So I thought that meant like maybe I should start smoking weed and just try it. And it's like not a big deal. And I haven't drank in, at that point it was past almost 7 years. And it's like my cells are completely regenerated. Like I'm a whole new person, like I've reached a level of spirituality that you guys probably wouldn't understand. Like I felt like really arrogant, like I've had all this time and so I started smoking weed and it was cool for like a year. It was fine. In fact, in some ways in the beginning, I think it actually helped me a lot because it did improve my mood, obviously, and it did make me kind of relax about career stuff and like just relax about stuff. And things did start to come to me more because you're like friendly or like, like I'm like, oh yeah, I'll listen to you, you're just a little more open and it opens you up to that spiritual side of things. So that is the spiritual stuff is like what started to help me, but then it got, I can't, the second I wake up to the second I go to bed, I'm smoking weed, like I'm high the entire day. Like I'm never not high. Right. So then I'm like, okay, like I'm noticing it, but I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. So then I'm in a relationship. so I started making a lot of, this is how I knew shit was like starting to happen. Cause I started making a lot of jokes. Like I was still waitressing at the time. So I started making a lot of jokes with my coworkers. Like, oh yeah, like, shit, sorry. Kind of like that, honestly. And everyone was like, oh, when you start drinking, like I want to be there. Like I just started sorry.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
I started making a lot of drinking jokes that went better than that one. And then I started dating a guy who worked in alcohol, like pretty deeply. And he had only ever seen, we had been friends for a long time, and he'd only ever seen me sober. So he didn't know. He just was like, you're not an alcoholic. Like, what are you talking about? Like, because I hadn't had a drink since I was 28, and now I was like 34. And it's like, yeah, maybe I'm not an alcoholic. Maybe I was just fucking crazy in my 20s like everybody else, Maybe it's true, So I kept kind of thinking that. And then one day we were out at a bar because he had to go there for work. And now I'm not blaming him because he really didn't know like what alcoholism is. But he ordered like a bunch of drinks for people, like Jungle Bird, some like fancy shit that I'd never tried before, right? And I was like, oh, I wonder what that tastes. That looks good. Like, what does it taste like? And he just dipped his finger in it and put it in my mouth like a little baby bird. Mm-hmm. And I was like stunned. Like I couldn't believe he had done that. Like, and he didn't know how fucked up it was that he had done that because he didn't understand. He didn't know what alcoholism was, and he didn't believe that I was one, So once that happened, I was like, well, the seal's broken, first of all. And then like a couple weeks later, we got into a huge fight because he said something that was like horrifying for any woman to hear out of the man she loves mouth. And I like completely lost my mind. And that night I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to have a glass of wine. And then we went to Mozza. I ordered a cacio pepe, ordered like a $30 glass of Sangiovese, which by the way was the best part about going out. Ordering that first drink. That's it. That was the best part because I was like, oh, I'm normal, And then I was like, and I'll try that grappa and that grappa. And then, and then it was just like, okay. And, things were like, okay for a couple months, like I was convincing myself like, oh, I guess I'm fine. Like, I guess I'm totally fine. But like, I did start, like Dana was saying, like I started to notice this like disconnect. Like I didn't recognize myself. I didn't feel close to people. I didn't feel close to comedy. I didn't feel, I didn't feel like I was in my body. And then like when I drink, like I'm mean. I'm a fighter. Like I want to tell you something about you that you don't know. It's not cute. And I started noticing that like, we would go out and people would drink and not finish their drink. And I would literally just spend like 15 minutes staring at it like a psychopath. Like I want to take the drink, but I don't want to. That's weird because it's your drink, but you're just going to let it. What the fuck is going on here? Should I just order another? And just think about it for like so long to where, okay, normal people don't do that. They don't think about alcohol. Like, thank you. So the last night I drank, I went out on Froze. That was my last drink. Oh, fuck. That's embarrassing. I got into a huge fight with my boyfriend and I said some like, I turned into a monster. And at the end of the fight, I was kicked out of the house. I had nowhere to live. My dog had just died. All my belongings are in my car. I'm sitting in the parking lot of Vaughn's and I'm like, okay, like I see how this is. I know where this is going because I'm already like there. And at this point, I do have stuff to lose. I have a show at the Comedy Store. I have I have an actual career that's happening. And now I actually have things to lose. Before I didn't. And I went to a meeting that night because I had nowhere else to go. And the next day I tried to like make up with my boyfriend and eventually, and we did. But what I remember the most is he looked at me and he was like, you are an alcoholic. And like for him to say that like was mind blowing, because he really didn't even believe that alcoholism exists. He didn't even get it. Anyway, so now I'm actually meditating and working a program. And I will say this to anybody. Everyone's always like, meditate, you should meditate. I've been meditating for like, I don't know, 7 weeks or something, like every day for 10 minutes. And I'm not kidding. I like a portal has fucking opened. Like you just have to, you stop having to make decisions because bad things leave you, good things come to you. And it's completely changed. Like my spirits are lifted. Things pass through me quicker. Like if you have not started meditating, just fucking do it. I wish I had started 10 years ago when people told me to. That's it. Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. The commentary, that was great.
That was
What is
great.
that? I just
Thank
felt like I had to
you.
say it. I feel like I should do it too. Maybe.
Yes.
Have
Okay.
to.
Okay. Will you do it for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, this is Chelsea, by the way, if you can't tell by the voice, even though you guys probably already listened to my podcast, clearly. Okay. So I started drinking when I was 10, and I started smoking weed when I was 12, doing coke when I was 15, and I immediately, like, I grew up feeling very uncomfortable. I felt very alone. I was teased a lot. I had a lot of abuse. I grew up in a dysfunctional household. And I felt like I just wanted to not feel any of it. So when I started, drinking and getting fucked up at a young age, it just like immediately worked for me. And I was like, oh, this is great. Like, I just didn't want to live in reality. I still have like a lot of problems, I think, with disassociation, but like, the more I like work on myself in sobriety and the more that I'm growing and like learning to connect and ground myself and like connect with people and be open, it's getting a lot better. But I just like, I don't know. I think I just like didn't want to be in reality. I really grew up in like a household of denial. So I think that's kind of like how I live my life. And, I was always like the kind of, there was no like gradual incline. Like it was a lot from the start. I'm a very like extremist. Like I don't just have like 3 or 4 beers. I drink to blackout. I smoke weed if I'm smoking from the second I wake up to the second I go to sleep. I do coke until I literally can't talk anymore. Like I paralyze myself with drugs and alcohol every single time. There's like nothing in between. And so because of that, I lived like a very reckless lifestyle. And drugs and alcohol was really like the forefront of my entire life until I got sober from, technically I'd say from 15. When I started doing coke, that's when like things really kicked up. I wouldn't say before that. It was like there's no comparison once coke gets involved. Mm-hmm. So I'd say from 15 to 26, which is when I first got sober, that during that period of time, all I could truly do was get fucked up. That like I didn't have anything else in life going on. Like I was taking part in like life by going to college, by hanging out with someone, but like everything, like my like complete focus was just on getting fucked up. And during that time I became a stripper. All I did was go out in New York and party every single night and be at after hours, and like I just lived and breathed partying. And basically what happened was, as I was nearing towards the end of that, when I was 26, I had a lot of dreams, and I felt like I wanted to do stuff, in a creative career, writing, stand-up, acting, and I felt like I couldn't do them with the way that I was living. Mm-hmm. And I just got really sick of living the life that I was living because it was so paralyzing on every single level for me. And I started to physically break down from doing so much coke, and my body was getting really fucked up from it. Like my heart like got fucked up, and I had to wear like an EKG to like measure my heart rate, and I was constantly having to be hospitalized to lower my heart rate with like like liquid Ativan and be watched, because like it was just getting to be too much. I just couldn't handle it anymore, and it stopped working in every way. And so when I started to go to meetings, and I started to have the willingness to get sober, the desire to drink was lifted pretty instantly for me, which is pretty cool. And I was sober for almost 3 years when I had relapsed, which will now be almost 4 years ago. And when I relapsed, I truly think the reason I relapsed is because I just didn't pick up the phone. What happened is a guy I was dating, I was in a bad relationship. He cheated on me. And for some reason, I just like did not want to feel it. And it wasn't particularly about this person cheating on me. It was more like everything from my past, all the bad relationships I was in, all of the denial that I was in because I had a feeling he was doing it, everything just like overflowed me like a wave. I felt like I got hit with a wave of past bad people that I had in my life and the way that I was treating myself, and my self-worth and my self-esteem at that time was so broken, and I just could not take it anymore. And I just had to like flood myself with alcohol. And so what happened from there, I think you have to drag the top down.
Oh,
I think I know.
yeah, you're right.
And what happened from there was just in 2 weeks. It's so funny to me. It's because a lot of people, when they relapse after being sober for a while, they're like, is it, you hear alcohol is a progressive disease. You're like, is it really going to be that bad? In just 2 weeks time of not drinking, and I only drank technically for 3 nights out of this 2 week period, I went to a rehab, got kicked out of the rehab, went to Cedar Sinai for trying to kill myself, and was 5150 just in technically 3 days of drinking. Yeah. That was over a 2 week period. And it's so crazy to look back at that and think, wow, like that's what happens when I drink. Like I really need to play the tape. Yeah. And like that I don't have any desire to drink because I literally almost died the last time. And like I just know that I go so extreme and so full force, and I just want to drown myself, that like there's just no other way to live. I have to be sober. I have to. And I have to live life on life's terms. And now that I am sober, how am I going to do that? And what am I going to do like to sustain that? So, this time around in my sobriety definitely does feel different. The last time that I was sober, while I did almost have 3 years, I was not completely emotionally sober. I was shady still. I was lying. I was cheating. I wasn't living a sober life. I didn't have emotional sobriety. This time around, completely different. I really try to be a good person, and I do a lot of work on myself every day. I have to, like I was listening to Abraham Hicks all morning. I try to put myself in like positive situations and just live my life in a different way. And all of that, comes with like going to meetings and doing all this other like self-care work on myself, and being available to talk to another person, if being of service. And I don't know, I'm just trying to wrap it up. I feel like you accidentally gave me 5 more minutes. It was meant to be 3.
You just did an extra 2, so you got like 30 more seconds.
30 more seconds. I don't know how to wrap this up. But basically just the only way that is the option for me to live is sobriety. So like, how can I make the best of my life and grow every day and learn and get better? And like, this is just like the cards that I was dealt. So like, I have to make the most of that life essentially. So with that, I guess I'm trying to think of like the question that I want to ask the group. Does anyone have any ideas? Or like maybe about how sobriety has changed your life, or like what things have you learned in sobriety to like benefit your life, or maybe how sobriety has affected comedy. I don't know if you guys want to answer any of those questions or just talk about something else, but like let's now get into some follow-up stuff after we've shared that. Anyone can just start sharing.
I think the best thing that I've learned in sobriety is how
maybe just say your name too before.
This is Brittany Schmitt. I'm an alcoholic. No, the best thing that I've learned in sobriety is that the disease is like always with you. Like even if you're in the program and you're in recovery, like that voice in your head that tells you you're not shit is the disease, and it's not you. So it's been really helpful for me to like separate those two voices, because like I think I'm a bad bitch 90% of the time, but then 10% of the time, like I have this voice that's like, you're a fucking idiot, quit comedy, like you don't belong here, you're not good enough to be here, you shouldn't be with these people. And I just have to be like, okay, that's your alcoholism, that's not you, and that's not reality. And I think that's been really helpful for me, because I think when I was drinking I never had that, because I was always drunk. I thought I belonged everywhere, and like I think that confidence is like the thing that I miss the most, but it was not real. So it's like getting real confidence back in sobriety has been both a challenge, but also like I feel very lucky to be in the rooms with people who are like, that's your disease, that's not you.
I love that you just said that. And like I often on this podcast talk about like the negative voices that we hear in our head, and I'm now realizing that I feel like it's always something that like comes up for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh damn, that is alcoholism.
Yeah.
Too, because I feel like sometimes people don't have it as bad as I do.
Yeah.
Like every day I have to like learn to fight against that voice.
Yeah.
Is that your ego or alcoholism? Because I get those confused.
Or being creative or being a human too, because I do think everyone has voices like that to a certain extent, you know.
Yeah.
Like for me, I think that what makes us alcoholics, being human is hard. Everyone doubts themselves. That's not an alcoholic thing. For sure, all of us alcoholics feel that. But I think what makes us alcoholics is that we have an allergy. We have a physical allergy to alcohol. Like you can't, like I cannot fucking stop. And it affects me way differently than most people, right? And I have like a spiritual emptiness inside. So it's like I'm constantly trying to fill it up. I think every human being feels those feelings. I mean, I know that we probably feel them more on top of the fact that we're all creatives also. So it's like we're comics. I mean, we all are insane, you know? So I get tripped up when people are like, it's a disease that, and like, it tells me that I'm not good. It does tell you you're not good enough. But I think sometimes when you just say that that's just an alcoholic thing, it's like diminishing it because it's a human thing. It's fucking hard to be alive for everybody, you know, for everybody. But for us, we just don't know how to cope correctly.
Yeah, but I will say I think it's a lot louder for me personally. That voice is a lot louder because the reality of alcoholism is it wants you alone by yourself to fucking kill you.
Yes.
Like, and that voice is the only thing that makes me isolate. Like when I know I should be like going out or being around people, I will isolate. Like if that voice is telling me to fucking stay home, and that's how we relapse, and that's how we die. So it's like, yes, it is a human. I'm not saying that's not a valid point, but I just think that voice is particularly much louder for us because I do think there are people who go through life thinking they're amazing.
Yeah, and they're idiots.
Who are they?
Not comics.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
It
I
always blows my mind when
I'm envious of that.
It blows my mind when I meet someone and they're just like so.
I'm the
like,
shit.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
And it seems like they really believe it.
Yeah.
And it also, I'm like, but not really.
But no. I mean, I think that's just a defense mechanism. Like, you know.
Is that real? Do you think when people? I'm so jealous.
No,
I wish that was me.
Well, I will say.
I think it's also part of how your parents were.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
My ex would like tell me, like, because I would tell him first thing in the morning, like, I hate myself and I like think I'm horrible at everything. First thing in the morning, I doubt myself. That's just my default first thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, really? And I'm like, if anyone here should be doubting themselves first thing in the morning, he's really and he claimed he didn't have that. So I mean, maybe you're
He
right.
might
maybe.
not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think probably.
Does he have good parents?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Fine. Yeah.
Like, I didn't have parents who were like, you could do anything you want. Well, they
Right.
did about one thing, but they weren't about, like, everything.
Yeah.
What
Like-
they do it about?
About writing. The only, and it's funny because that's the one thing in life I am confident about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the only thing both my parents were like, when I was like a young kid, they'd be like, you're a writer, you're a writer, you're a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, okay. And it's so easy for them to like build me up about that.
Mm-hmm.
But literally about nothing else. Like when Stephen was going to move into my apartment and we were going from friends to being in a relationship, my parents were like, no. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so happy. Like, I found someone who loves me and I love him. And like, we have a great relationship. My dad goes, you've been unlucky in love.
Holy
and I'm like,
shit.
what? I was like,
Yeah.
no, I feel good. I got so mad. I like freaked out and I like didn't talk to them the rest of the trip. And like, now they love him and like, you know, and they're happy for us. But it's like, sometimes like my parents all like tell them something exciting and their first thing will be like, no. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they live in fear?
Yes.
Yeah. My mom lives in so much fear.
Yes.
Like it's crazy because like now that I'm in my 30s, she's like telling me about how gifted I was as a child. And I'm like, why weren't you telling me that as a child?
I needed that.
She's like,
Yeah.
Dana, you would just entertain children with your stories and act outs. And all of the parents begged me to bring you because you just had this talent. And I go,
That's so cute.
That's
So
sweet.
cute.
I go, Mom, why weren't you shoving that down my throat?
Yeah.
when I was little, because I was little. I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I didn't know that I was good at this. I just liked to do it. And she's like telling me all of these things now. And I'm like, it's kind of weird
Can
that
you
she
let
didn't
it in
encourage.
now, though?
I can let it in now. And she just always was like, she forced me to go to college. And then she was like, you should be a teacher. You should teach. And never really supported comedy until like the past 2 years.
Has it changed though? Like, can you like, does it make you feel fulfilled when she tells you now, or are you still hung up on the fact that you didn't get it then?
No. It makes me feel fulfilled, but I also, that other side of my brain is going like, how far along would you be if your mom was
I know what you mean though.
boosting
It's
you
like,
up instead of bringing you down? Like, she was always telling me what was wrong with me as a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
She would never build me up. She would just be like, this is what's wrong with you, and this is what's wrong with you, and I held on to those things.
But if you want to get kind of hippy dippy about it, though, like we're all saying we'd be so much farther along, but like we're all doing great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, not as great as we want to be, obviously, but we're always going to want to be better. That's never going to go away. We're never going to be rich and famous and be like, I'm so good now. Like, it's not going to happen.
It never, I think you always, I think always, no matter what, you're going to
like, we're all following our dreams. Like, we all have, like, recognition in some sense. Like, we're all sober and doing what we love. And, like, so sometimes I'm like, you know, those parents now who are, like, too supportive, like the helicopter parent, like those kids are gonna end up like fucking annoying, you know, and not funny.
Yeah, I think it's hard for parents because it's like, what are you fucking supposed to do?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because if you're too nice, it fucks them up. If you're too mean, it fucks them up. Like no matter what, your kids are gonna be fucked up. So it's like,
no, honestly,
like what are you supposed to do? And I also think, like, to your point, Dana, I feel like parents, when they look back at things, they kind of just have like rose-colored glasses on because they're like, oh, that was so nice, or it's like a time that they long for now because it's in the past and they don't realize what they were doing in the moment. I have the same experience with like my dad, who's like always been like loving and amazing and great, but he's like, you were a great kid, and I'm like, I was not. I like actually wasn't a good kid. Like I was always fucking grounded. I was always lying. I was always in trouble. Like I was stealing. Like I wasn't a good kid. And he's like, you weren't that bad. And I'm like, I just think like parents, like the older they get and the closer they are to the grave, they're just like, it was great. I did the best I could and everything was great.
Yeah, I think you're right. People remember things differently too.
Well, 100%.
Like I think like our parents obviously remember things differently than we do. Like my mom keeps sending me all these pictures from when I was a kid. And I was on these like, I went on like so many incredible vacations. I had so much fun. Like,
are they still married?
No. Okay. My parents gave me so much, but like, and then I was just like looking at that and I was like, I wonder if my childhood wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
Well, there's this African proverb. It's the axe forgets and the tree remembers. So it's like,
can you say that once again?
The axe forgets and the tree remembers. So it's like the person who causes the pain fucking forgets that they did it, and then the tree just holds on to it forever.
I remember just a lot of terrible things from my childhood. I don't really remember a lot of good times, and I feel like I am programmed to like think the worst and to think that people are out to get me and to think that this situation, it's not going to turn out my way. And that's a programming that I'm really working hard to undo, because truthfully, we are supposed to be free and things are supposed to come easy, and we're on this planet to literally feel joy all of the time. And it's almost like we're born feeling it and then we forget, and then it's like we have to remember again, and it's like, and then we remember and then we leave, and it's like, it's a trip.
Sorry,
no,
did you want to finish your thought?
No, I don't think I had a thought.
Well, can I ask what some of the stuff you're doing to reprogram?
First thing, I have this calendar that I bought so my days are filled, because whenever I have time, idle time, the devil be creeping up. So I know first thing in the morning, like I need to work out in the afternoon for my brain, and I need to pray. I'm doing A Course in Miracles right now. It's a book club, and
I want to do that.
Please,
is it incredible?
It's incredible. And every day there is an exercise, and you can do it all day long. And yesterday was Everywhere I Go, God is with me. And it's so powerful that my brain goes to resentment. So I just start resenting a person, a situation, a place, and
then victim mentality pops in. And so with doing this thing, I'm just like, I just pause, and this is program. I pause, and then I like just repeat that. I'm like, okay, if God is here and like I'm in the flow, then like this is actually fine that this situation isn't going my way and this person isn't acting my way. And so I think it's just, I'm aware when I open my email and I'm like, it's going to be, this person's not going to get back to me. Like, that's my first thought is like, this is going to be a struggle. And that's my programming, and that's false. So I'm able to like literally compartmentalize that and be like, okay, that's false and that's not the truth. And I don't have to go down that path. And reprogramming it, I think, is just being conscious of it. And even like Stasia, like meditating, I've been doing the 10 minutes a day. Thank you for that.
I mean, I didn't invent
What do you
it.
do? You use an app?
No, my Alexa. I'm like, Alexa, set the timer for 10 minutes.
Oh, cool. So
And
just
I just
in your
sit
thoughts?
there and breathe.
Oh,
I just
that's
sit there and
cool.
breathe. Yeah. And I put on a fan. That's just kind of how I like
White
it.
noise.
But yeah, you know, I think I have a lot of reprogramming to do, and I notice the more conscious of it I am, and the more I just, it's not like I'm trying to do the opposite of it, but I'm not like listening to it.
Yeah, you got to stay adjacent to your thoughts.
Yeah.
It's like learning that just because you're having a thought does not mean it's true.
Yeah.
Which is, it's like shocking when you first hear that, because you're like, yes, it is. You know, it's my thought, but it's not. You can, like, once you learn how to just watch your thoughts and watch your feelings, then you can start to stop them and control them. I mean,
For me, I wasn't really like religious growing up, and I always was like, God and Jesus, like, no way. And so now I'm really trying to do the alignment with my higher power. So I do think that the more practice you have in like with that spiritual practice, and the more you kind of click in with your higher power, I think that, you know, it's working out to deprogram if you're specific about like the things that you want to like give away and the things that aren't serving you.
Yeah.
Turning it over.
And turning it over. And I think the more, for me, I just feel the more connected I am, the more aligned I am, then the easier it is. But I'm obviously don't know anything, and I'm learning every day.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. What are some of the stuff you guys do to sort of reprogram your new way of life?
Just cry.
Crying
a
is
lot of crying.
honestly, no, that's a good release.
Yeah.
Crying, if I saw someone crying 2 years ago, I would cringe. It made me so uncomfortable. I had to leave the room. If people cried, I was just like, I'd rather see you naked. Like it feels almost like you're so exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's, oh my God, it's such a good release.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time with crying. I don't cry all the time. I hold it back a lot. I feel really embarrassed and ashamed when I cry, and I'm trying to let go of that. But I just don't know, like, you know, I just don't, like, when I cry, it's like a really big deal to me. And I just like want to be more open with that, but I don't know like what to do, you know?
Well,
it doesn't happen often. It's
crying,
maybe like once a month, if anything.
Yeah.
crying is releasing like a physical manifestation of emotion, right? So if you don't release that shit, it turns into cancer, like legit, you know? And
Stasia.
no, but
Take
there,
us down
She's a
there-
doctor.
No, but there is some chemical. I don't know the science, the bro science behind it, but when you cry, it literally alleviates pain.
Yeah.
So after you cry, that's why you feel better. It's like
It's just getting it though. I
Right.
don't to make
it
it happen.
doesn't come up at all.
It's almost like there's like a broken valve.
Did your parents not let you cry?
Yeah. When I cried, it didn't matter.
Right.
It just
Yeah.
so it felt unheard because
Same.
I would cry a lot when I was younger.
And they'd say stop. My parents would say stop
They
it.
ignored me.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
So like
Yeah.
I just felt like there's no point in sharing my feelings. There's
Yeah.
no point in crying because it's not going to make a difference
Yeah.
and I'm
Get
not
a
going to be
negative
heard.
reaction.
So I just became like hardened.
Yeah.
But
and,
you
like,
can reverse that. You
Yeah,
can.
I
think
want
breathing is a big part of that. Like
Yeah.
deep breathing and meditating.
to.
And Abraham Hicks honestly changed my life.
Yeah, I'm
like-
so into her.
It's, if you don't listen to it, it's super hippy dippy, whatever. I don't care. Like, I'm an asshole from Boston, so if I can get into it, anyone can. But it's I just literally put Abraham Hicks on first thing in the morning while I'm making my coffee, and I leave it on until I leave the house. And it's changed my world.
It's the best way to start your morning.
100%.
I love
I've never
Abraham Hicks.
listened, and up until this minute, I would have said it was a boy.
Yeah, so her real name is Esther Hicks, but Abraham.
It sounds
is
so crazy when you try to explain it.
It does. Is the person she channels.
It's a non-physical consciousness, basically. And I mean, it sounds completely insane.
But and her voice sounds crazy, but
the message,
everything she says and the message is just
legit. It's legit.
It's all. We talked about this all last week, actually, about her, but just to give a refresher to anyone who didn't listen to it, or to explain it to Brittany. Basically, her whole thing is that your thoughts and your beliefs create your reality. Yeah. It's all about getting into alignment.
Is she
the
Buddhist?
Vortex. No.
Is she what?
Buddhist?
I mean,
she doesn't talk about
it's not like anything new. It's the law of attraction. It's like if you think it and feel, if you get yourself to a feeling good place, then good things come to you. If you're feeling bad about things, more bad things. I mean, it's like obviously, but the way she speaks and kind of like drills it in like a gentle way. If you haven't listened to it, you just type it in on YouTube, Abraham Hicks, and there's like 5 gazillion videos.
Yeah,
and just
you could throw a buzzword out with her name for anything that you want.
Okay.
Do you know what's so cool is I started listening to it like 6 or 7 years ago, and I was really embarrassed because I had roommates, so I would like turn it down because I didn't want anybody to hear me being like, and are we feeling good today?
And are we refreshed?
Great.
Tuned in, tapped in, turned on.
Yeah.
And so I would like say these like little prayers. I'm like, I hope I find friends that are into this. And all of my friends now
Everyone
are into it.
Remember we went?
But
You went?
Yeah, we went to see her live.
Wait, I'm dying because
but
this morning walking into the meeting, I texted a screenshot of her going to be in LA to Sarah, and we're like, we can't go in. We are disciples, but from afar.
No, we went. Go.
Wait, also, this is something that's really cool. Have you noticed her views have gone up? Like 6 or 7 years ago, nobody was watching on YouTube. Yeah. Like there were like 500 views.
Oh, really?
And now there's like 800,000.
I've been listening for like 4 years.
People are getting on board, which excites me.
Well, I think it's also like this movement of self-help is something that's like
happening.
Yeah.
I mean,
booming.
it's always
There's
been
a conscious
It's always been
shift.
going on, obviously, since like the fucking 60s and 70s. But I think there's just new waves of it.
Well, we need it more now. Because
but now there's the internet.
Wait, what
so
was it
everyone
like
has
live?
access.
Did you guys go up to the microphone?
No woman raised their hand. It was all men kept going up.
Is that
it was
right?
infuriating.
I don't remember. But then the last one was a woman, right?
The last one was a woman who became my sponsor.
Shut the fuck up.
And we didn't know each other there, and we didn't put 2 and 2 together. We didn't meet through there.
That's so crazy.
How did you realize? Oh, because you talked about it.
Because she had a broken leg. She went up with a broken leg, right? And
yeah.
Didn't she tell you she had a broken leg or whatever?
And I was like,
so crazy.
I was like, you were there when I was there. Yeah. Like I saw you. I like loved her. I loved you.
Oh my God. Yeah. What kind of did you guys going live? Do you learn any? Because I've only listened to like recordings. Do you learn anything different, or is it just all people going up?
The vibes.
You feel the vibration.
Yes.
The vibe. You walk in the room, and the vibration is insane.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is
like
it
we
anxious
all came
or
right
good?
Away.
No, it's literally like orgasmic. It's
Are
like
you
feel like
serious?
you're floating.
Yeah, you're wet the whole time.
You felt that?
I felt you.
Did you feel that when you walked?
Everyone's laughing. Everyone's joyful. It's like everyone is
brainwashed.
I know. It's very.
It's a cult.
Dude, she kills, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money she makes?
How much?
Yeah.
She's like probably close to a billionaire.
We got a billion.
I just made that up.
She's multi-millionaire.
I'm Googling her net worth.
Multi.
Oh, yeah. Hundreds of millions of dollars, 100%. Yeah.
Here.
That shit was expensive.
What I like.
I noticed it was $250. What is her net worth?
13 million.
What?
Not bad.
I would think it would be
Not
more.
Not
hundreds
bad
of
for being a
millions.
crazy person.
I would think it would be more.
And not a billion either.
You guys,
for us, it's a billion.
To me, 13 million equals a billion in my world.
Yeah.
Me too. Brittany's
How
like,
does she
that's
have
a Tuesday
13
for me.
million?
Think about. It's
I also don't trust those net worth things because I've
Yeah, I
like
don't
looked up
think
people
I
I
love
know
them. That's, like,
and
one
they're
of my
fucking
favorite-
wrong.
That's like one of my favorite games.
Really?
Looking at people's
Me
net
and
worth.
Steven love Googling net worth and like
It's
guessing.
fun.
It's just fun.
It's fun,
I don't know why.
My favorite thing that she talks about is receiving, because that's the hardest thing for me. I feel like I have to effort so much. Like I have to work. I have to like put in so much energy to get like a little small thing. And so I just need to remind myself that when you don't do anything and you literally just open up your energy to receive.
Well, that's a feminine energy too, because the feminine energy is receiving energy, and we have all been taught to just be in our masculine all the time in order to like be, you know, we were raised by the first generation of feminists, right? So we have to like be CEO, we have to do everything, blah, blah, blah. So you're just constantly in your masculine, and when you're in that, you're not in a receptive mode.
How do you get in the receptive mode?
You lean back and do
just
nothing.
Chill.
Open your legs.
Get out of your own way.
Exactly.
Yeah. What was she
Ready to
saying that
receive.
you? Anything else? Leaning back. What else?
Well, it's
I know
it's
it's
finding
simple,
a way
but-
to just feel good in the moment.
And
Like,
not
choosing-
feeling like you have to do everything all of the time, and literally not doing anything. Just like
Being
spending
still.
time
Yeah.
being present.
and like if you're feeling like I feel fucking cranky today, right?
Who's
so
deep
then you
breathe- oh,
choose.
that's you. Sorry.
So then
I was like gonna yawn.
if you're like,
I got angry. Sorry. Sorry, keep going. I heard the deep breathing and I was like, where is that coming from? No, but she's
Abraham.
digesting. Sorry.
You know what I was really hoping, Chelsea, you would be doing the whole podcast?
What?
Is going, am I being a bitch?
I'm
that's so
nicer now,
funny.
though.
It's just a very funny thing that
When
you
was
do.
I do I do
You
that
did
a
it in the
lot?
beginning.
Am I being a bitch? Define bitch.
I'm nicer now. So I'm
Since
not
when?
worried as since when? It's like I don't know, I've been working on it. I've been working a lot on positivity. That's what because I struggle a lot with negative thinking and like and like just I just don't want to live like that, and just like my mind and just like how I like how I take in things, you know, is like in a negative critical way, but it's only because of my own unhappiness of where I'm at. And so I've really just been working on that and like flooding myself. And I had this like crazy experience in December. I did like a weekend with Josh Wolf, and he is so insanely optimistic and positive, like more than like anyone I've ever seen in my life. And just being around that for 3 days straight, I really like took a hard look at myself, and I felt like so uncomfortable. And I kind of got into like a 2-month depression up until
Because he was too positive.
I just felt like really not enough. I don't know.
Like the
I was
juxtaposition.
It was
just,
like
makes you
really, it just like
uncomfortable,
made me like snap a little in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah.
And I felt like really depressed for 2 months essentially. And I was just really doing so much compare and despair, and just like
that's the worst.
yeah, and just like
Worst.
really just like, you know, I have problems with that and I wish I didn't, but I'm really working to like not have that anymore because I don't want to be like that, but it's like what my brain does.
well,
or
and it's what
something.
Instagram is doing to all
I-
of us.
Yeah,
too.
I had
mean,
to
it's
mute.
every
You know, we were
human.
talking about it last week.
Yeah.
I've had to
Yeah.
mute like so many
us.
like comics. I've had to mute all the comics I know,
Yeah.
most of them, you know, and like, and it's like I don't want to be that way, but I just have to do that right now,
Yeah.
just so I
Yeah.
can like not the
Go
background
crazy.
picture on my phone is this person who Michael Phelps. I want to get rid of it, but it's still on here. Michael Phelps and this other guy's looking in his
shit.
lane, and now he's going faster than him.
Wow.
And like I just have to
That's
like stay in,
crazy.
it's like staying in your own lane sort of shit. And I want to get rid of this because I kind of don't like looking at it, but I'm just keeping it
Well,
on
yeah.
here just to remind
Yeah,
myself.
you gotta keep your eyes on your own paper. And I also think Instagram is just like a fucking highlight reel. Like,
yeah.
you might have amazing career stuff going on, but what is your private life like? What's your love life like? Like, I think it is a tool to show everyone like the cool shit that's going on in your life, and then we see it as just like only cool shit is going on in this person's life. That's why there's like certain Instagram pages. I've muted almost everyone to the point where I'm like, I don't even need to go on Instagram because it's just giving me advertisements now because
Yeah.
I've just muted everyone.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we'll just sell you shit.
I follow
like-
Pasta and Dogs.
Yeah, truly. It's like Pasta and Amy Schumer because like she keeps it fucking real. Like there's
Yeah.
a few people who like keep it fucking real, and then everyone else I'm just like, I can't, because I'm just going to feel like I'm behind, and like sitting there scrolling and feeling like you're behind isn't productive, and it just makes me worry, and then like worry isn't preparation either. So it's like
Yeah.
I just need to like work and do my thing, and like I would love to be off Instagram for like a year if it wasn't like
I wish I didn't have to be on it to promote.
Right.
Well, I
Yeah.
want to
Same.
get to a point. This is a goal of mine, is to get to a point where I hire a social media assistant to literally post all
Yeah.
my videos, all my shit, all my like tour dates.
Yeah.
And I'm off it.
I,
Yeah.
Like
I
I'm
would
off
love
it.
that. I
like
know. I want
you
that
pay
too.
them
and you give someone a job, and that's great, and
You
people
could
get to
probably
see your shit,
Get
and
like a college intern to do
Yeah.
it for you right now.
Oh.
and I can tell. I'll tell them the captions, and
Yeah.
I'll tell them the
Right.
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Isn't there like a program that does that too? Like some app that does that?
I
where
know
you
there's
type
an
it all
app that
in
you could
and
do
then
it for Twitter where you can
Yeah.
have it go out later.
Plan
yeah,
your
but then it
tweets.
says
Tweet
hashtag. Yeah, but then it says hashtag tweet brought to you by
gives a fuck?
Hootsuite.
Yeah,
I
Hoot
know.
Sweet.
So what? It's a real hoot.
I notice days when I'm on social media a lot, my mood, like I literally is, if I'm off of it, I'm in such a better mood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's definitely going to be in the near future, if not already, a 12-step program for social media because it is an addiction, and it's like I feel like it's one of the only addictions where like you're never happy from it.
I know.
Like
oh, wow.
you don't ever go on it, and like no matter how many likes you get, it's not enough. No matter how many people are following you, it's not enough. And I've like thought about this before. I'm like, does Kim Kardashian like post something and think like, I only got like 1 million likes. Like
For
everyone
sure.
hates me.
For
Like for
sure.
sure. That's
She
what I'm saying. It
definitely
never
does.
fucking ends. And at this point, it's just like a goddamn sickness. I'm like, there
Yeah.
needs to be a program for us to all like
Also,
wean
these
off
little
of it.
these
'cause
little
it's not real
kids
life.
are being programmed. My little cousins, who they're like 6. How many likes did that get? And I'm like, dude, you're 6.
crazy.
Like,
I feel
what is
so
happening
bad
to
for
your
kids.
brain
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that they're looking at like validation, and then they place me. All my cousins like place me at some type of ranking because I have this many followers versus that comedian has way more followers than you, Dana. Like, what's going on with your career? And then I'm like, oh shit, what's going on with my career?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is my career in the toilet because I don't
You're
have
6.
do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like affected by like a
Yeah.
9-year-old, and it's like, okay, this is insane.
I've tried to get more awareness about when I go on it and like how I'm feeling when I go on it, because like I used to always when I would
Yeah.
wake up, I would reach for my phone and go on my notifications. So I stopped looking at my phone the first 30 minutes that I wake up,
that's
and it's
good.
like so amazing and it's so
Ooh.
nice.
Lauren says that Skinny Confidential.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, she does. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I learned that from her actually.
First thing in the morning,
Yeah.
she drinks water and walks to the coffee
Yeah,
shop and
light
doesn't go on her
movement,
phone.
Hydration. I'm a
That's
believer.
great.
Yeah, I love
First-
I love everything.
First
that-
hour, no phone.
Yeah.
Shit.
And so then I also noticed,
Right.
so besides that, like, when do I look? And it's when, like, during the middle of the day when I'm, like, tired and, like, kind of crashing and I'm laying on my couch, like, between I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I have nothing to do and I'm feeling
Yeah.
a little bored.
That's the worst.
I'm feeling tired and that's when I start consuming other people's, like, content. And then I, like, just start to feel bad about myself.
Yeah.
And it's like it's kind of like that time of day. So I'm like, I really should find something else to consume
Yeah, like
when I
read.
feel that way. But I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard because it's also just like easy, and there is something that's enjoyable about it.
Yeah.
It never makes you feel good, but there is something that's just like, I don't know.
And we
Yeah.
need it to promote. Like, we
Yeah.
have to do it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like people who are, addicted to food. And it's like, well, you fucking have to eat, you know? So
Yeah.
it's like, how do you control that? I mean, at some point, it's all just going to be in our brains
Right.
anyway.
But
like, we're so close.
What about
to
people
that.
who say social media is on its way out?
I hope so.
It's on its way. Our
I
phones
don't see
are
how that's
on its way
possible.
into
I
our
don't know.
bodies.
Vine
Like,
disappeared overnight.
Yeah, it's not on its way. It's on its way
yeah,
in.
we're about to just have it in our brains right
I
here
know.
in our little eye
That's so
screen.
sick, like
it's,
that,
it's not
Black
going any-
Mirror.
Yeah.
But
Like,
also, it's like, what
Yeah.
is this? I don't know. What are these waves coming from our phones, and how are they affecting our bodies and these
Yeah.
cell towers?
We're
and it's
the
like,
generation that's gonna find out.
Yeah.
Fuck.
We're
It's
the
like
guinea
when
pigs.
I was
smoking
reading-
gives you cancer.
Yeah.
I was reading on Instagram that the 5G towers are giving us anxiety and depression and causing
Yeah.
cancer, and everything.
100%.
Everything that the waves are admitting are terrible for our system.
Is that why we feel so anxious from
Yeah,
it?
because
And
people don't get
Maybe it's
sun.
just emitting us waves.
We don't even go in the sun.
Brittany
People,
can't.
they tell us the
Yeah.
sun
Yeah.
is bad.
There's like a whole thing that I haven't really fully researched about like 5G towers, and
What are 5G? Where are those?
they're just putting them up. I don't know,
Where
like
is
in
that?
major
So
cities.
you have good service everywhere?
Yeah,
But
but
here-
they're really bad for our bodies. But also, like, how much research has been done? How much research have I looked at? Like, I have very limited knowledge, but what I read on it was actually like super terrifying.
This is a
Well,
Rogan podcast now.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
I'm kidding.
there's the towers above ground that we all are aware of, and then the government has stuff going underneath the ocean too.
Yeah.
So it's
Really?
like, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
and-
waves coming from all directions at us. Honestly, we should all just like go to Jamaica and sell coconuts and fucking
No, what
give
we
up
can
on
do
We'd be
food.
so happy there.
Yeah.
is we can create like magnets, or I mean, if you want to be a billionaire, where they like deflect those waves.
But then you can't get Wi-Fi.
No, but you just wear
You wear a necklace that like
You want to walk around with a
Wait,
magnet
here's-
necklace and
Yeah.
the tarot cards?
yeah.
The thing that's fucked up
That's
is that they
deflecting
tell
the
you to
waves.
stay out of the sun. Like, the sun is not bad for you. The sun is not giving you skin cancer. What's giving you skin cancer is the bullshit you put into your body that then bakes in the sun and causes you illness. So they're like telling us to stay away from the most natural good thing on the planet and then feeding us like these microwaves. Like, we're fucked. We're all fucked. We're all dying anyway. It doesn't really matter. That's the point.
Take me out.
Yeah. I mean,
Should we like bring this up a little?
Yeah.
no, I
And
mean,
just-
you know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's. My point is like, there's almost no point in worrying about it, right? Because like, there's not really anything you can do about it except for take care of yourself, you know, and like,
And let's end on a positive note. What are we gonna
Yeah.
do to take care of ourselves? Or like, if you have another idea of how to
How to
turn this
end it?
around.
I don't know. I
You
mean,
gotta turn this around.
This really went downhill.
Anyone have any ideas?
Wow.
I'm just bummed right now. I need a. Let's
yeah,
lift back
yeah.
up. What does Abraham say? We got to lift back up. We're bumming everyone out.
she would say not to focus on all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To focus on the fact that
What you're
are you
grateful for.
right now.
Yes.
Like, I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful that right now that everything's good and I'm healthy.
Also, another thing that she says that I really like is like not to be focusing on the lack, but to be focusing on what you have
Yeah.
instead,
Yeah.
which is essentially what you just said.
yeah,
But like, if I'm like, oh, like,
I don't have a Tesla.
I don't have a Tesla. I'm like, but I have a Toyota. And
Yeah.
Toyotas are
and it
great.
works.
It's
You know what I mean?
reliable.
My car gets me around
Yeah.
everywhere I need. I
Yeah.
have plenty of room in my car.
Yeah.
You know, I
Appreciating.
I love driving in it.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like,
Also
that's
just-
essentially the
realizing that like what I've prayed for and wished for 5 years ago, I'll have right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is true.
And
Yeah.
just taking a moment for that, like, oh my God, that is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm taking that for granted in my life.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's things pick a time point in your life of like you prayed for everything and you have it right now. So
Mhm.
like the best is yet to come. Like
Even
whatever
being sober. Like,
being sober is it's a miracle
yeah.
that
I used
I've
to-
even figured that out for myself and
Oh.
that like I was able to see the light.
Mm.
I used to just be in awe. I remember I would always think like, I wonder what it would be like to go through a day with like nothing. I was like, well, that will never be me, but that must be pretty crazy. Like, imagine that. Like, it was so unbelievable. And now we're just
like water. We
do-do-do,
all
we're
have
so-
water.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you can get water. Like you can move your body. Like sometimes when I'm like pissed about working out, I'm like, dude, I can move my
Yeah.
body.
Yeah, you're
Like
able-bodied.
what a blessing. Like I can do these workouts. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
drink some coffee and breathe and suck it up. And
Yeah.
like you feel good after.
Yeah. I mean, thinking like having your physical health and your mental health every day, I'm so grateful for
That's
it.
everything.
I'm like, I have my vision, I have my taste, I have, you know what I mean? I have
Yeah.
all these things that people go their entire lives without. And I have my mental health, which is huge for me because I saw how hard it is to not have it with my mom. So it's like, fuck, I'm super grateful like every day that I'm not schizophrenic yet or I'm not bipolar or borderline, you know what I mean? Like none of those things are my reality right now, and I'm just like grateful. I go to the gym, I go to my meetings, I take care of myself the best way I can, and I just stay in the gratitude.
Yeah.
And with that,
Yeah, that was
That's
we
great.
are finished. Thank you guys so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on. Shout out anything you guys want to promote in your social media.
Oh, at Dana Moonme on Instagram. Get on over there.
Speaking of Instagram.
Mine's
Speaking of how much we hate Instagram,
Get on it now.
follow me.
mine's at It's Brit Brit.
Mine's at Stasia Patwell and Ride or Die. Oh, is this going to come out tomorrow? Ride or Die
in
is
2
tomorrow.
weeks.
Oh, okay, never mind. Come to Ride or Die at the Comedy Store. It's a monthly show in the Belly Room.
Awesome. And then mine is at Chelsea Skidmore, obviously. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day. And check out A Meeting if you guys want to get sober. Attraction, not promotion, is the opposite of what I just did. So, yeah, you know, I hope I didn't offend anyone that we were talking about, you know, us going to
No.
meetings and stuff, you
No,
know.
why would you ever?
Well, I guess,
We
you
love
know,
you.
just
We
my
knew where
point
we're
of this
getting.
episode was just to show people like that, you know, if you do have a problem with drinking, that your life could be better with sobriety. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Or
check
if
it out
you
if it's
relate,
right for
yeah.
you. And if not, you know, just what can you do today to make your life better? All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.